Valentin Barco is one of the most exciting young players in world football right now. The Argentine has built a reputation for fearless dribbling, creativity, an insane passing range and the ability to change games from all over the pitch. And now Chelsea are pushing to bring him to Stamford Bridge. In this video, I'm breaking down why Chelsea want Barco, what makes his profile so unique and how he could fit into this Chelsea side under Liam Rosenior. Welcome back to the Louis Selling YouTube channel. I am back once again, and this video today isn't about a Brighton player, but instead a former one who is set to join that long list of seagulls who have joined Chelsea. Of course, it is Valentin Barco, who joined Brighton a few seasons ago as a young Argentine fullback and one of the most exciting wonder kids that Tony Bloom had ever brought to the Amex. However, under De Zerbi, he didn't play too many minutes, and the Italian manager said that if he was to play him left back with Matoma, he would have to start two goalkeepers. After De Zerbi came Fabian Herzler, and it was a similar story, with the German manager opting to start Carlos Baleba at left back instead. So inevitably, he was sold to Strasbourg in France for a really cheap fee. In Liga, under Liam Rosenior and Gary O'Neill, he's moulded himself into one of the best young midfielders in the division, being one of the best players in Liga and in the final third, and having a frankly ridiculous passing range and pass map. So let's jump straight into this video in the media drawer and show you why Chelsea is so desperate to sign him. So there are a couple of things that I want to cover with Barco, a few positive and a couple negatives, but we'll get to those in a minute. We'll start with one of his main attributes, which is his ability on the back foot and his ability to get out of tight areas. This is an example from a league game. Barco is this player here, and as you can see, he is on that half turn, ready to receive that ball on the back foot and turn into all of this space in here. Flick it over, he receives it on the back foot really well, and as he does that, he takes a look at what's around him, so he can see the player coming in here, and he can see the space that he has in these few directions. Flick it on. The player closes him down really well, really quickly, but this is where his ability to get out of tight spaces comes in. He takes a really slick touch with the outside of his right boot just to push the ball this way, enough to get it into the pocket of space, but not too far that it can be intercepted by this player. Knocks it round him to get in this position to knock it back past him again, and then look at all the space that he has in these areas in the middle of the park to drive into, and then this is where he can use his passing range to put some ridiculous through balls over the top of these really solid French back lines. Uses his arm really well to push that player off to get into the space as well. While he is small, he's still relatively strong in these positions that he can use his arm and his body to get away from players. As I said, he's relatively strong. He isn't the strongest, so when he's defending, sometimes he knocks off the ball and he struggles to knock players off the ball, but I don't think that is too big of a concern if he's partnered alongside a player like Moises Caicedo or even Endo Fernandez if he still is at Stamford Bridge next season. This is another example of his ability to get out of tight spaces and drive with that ball. He is this player down here, and as you can see, the midfielder is closing him down. He takes a nice touch, really direct, fast touch, quick touch, progressive touch to get past the defender. Uses his body really well again, just to make sure he stays in front of him, and again, he's already driving into this pocket of space and he knows where he wants to go. The next midfielder closes him down quite well as well to get those spaces. Close down from him, gets past him again really well with a nice quick change of pace, that acceleration, short sharp burst that are really difficult to defend against because you give away a foul or you commit too much, which leaves a lot of space. Like this one, uses his arm really well again, and he gets himself driving towards goal, which is something about him that I really, really like. He's always thinking about that forward move, that next thing once he wins the ball back, whether he receives it, is getting forward and driving towards the goal, which ultimately is kind of the whole point of football, to get as close to the goal as possible and get shots away and score. This next clip combines a few things: his ability to intercept, his ability to drive with the ball, and his main attribute, which is his ability to play some passes all over the pitch, however you like them. Here's this player in here. The ball has just been sort of lost in possession by the opposition team. It's kind of in the middle, 50-50, anyone can win it. He's driving down the line straight away and he intercepts it in here. Really, really fast, does well to get in front of that man. What I want to say here is a little bit about his defending. A few concerns that I have in terms of if he is played left back for Chelsea. He's quite indecisive with his ability to and his decision making in closing down crosses and how to stop them. He's unsure whether to block them or put a tackle in, which can leave him quite vulnerable and quite exposed at times. But he does angle his runs really, really well to get to that man quickly and just get in the way sometimes. And he works really, really hard, which does make out for some of his defensive vulnerabilities. But I don't foresee Chelsea playing him left back very often because they have Marc Cucurella. More, I see him playing as that centre midfielder alongside Caicedo, or even higher on that left wing, where these defensive concerns won't be too much of a problem. But everyone knows, if you've watched him, how good he is under Liam Rosenior and in his system. So I don't think Chelsea will be too concerned at all with some of his weaknesses. The more he plays under Rosenior, the more he can improve him, because he's already turned him from quite a maverick left back, quite a typical South American with that aggression, those reckless challenges sometimes, to a really composed, calm midfielder who is one of the best, as I said, in Ligue 1 in that final third and with his creativity. But back to this clip. Wins that ball back really well, and he's immediately got his head down, just driving with it down that line to get towards that goal as quickly as possible. Takes a look up here, really, really nice. I really, really like this. His deceleration ability is one of the best that I have seen. I bang on about it in all of these videos, but a player's ability to decelerate while on that run to either receive a ball or make that pass is something that is massive in modern day football, as it allows for that transition to be smoother and quicker. Takes a look up here, and as you can see, the only real option going forward is his striker, who is pretty much level with him. So it has to be a hell of a pass to get him in, especially with these two defenders in here who are quite well positioned. He can cover him here going down the line, and this player here can cover a ball in behind, and this player slightly behind him has also relatively well covered the striker, and the two players closing him down here mean the ball has to be put on a sixpence basically with these two closing him down, as any slight error will be blocked by the midfielder. And the right back uses his striking position, his striking ability really, really well. A sharp pull back of the leg here, really long follow through in there, as you can see. Uses the inside of his boot in there to spin that ball to the right, which we'll come on to again in a minute. The way that ball spins puts it closer to his receiver and closer to the goal. So again, it really highlights how much of Barco's game is about scoring goals and creating chances. He lofts that ball in behind and it lands on the striker's feet. An absolutely ridiculous pass with 4 or 5 players closing him down or trying to block that pass towards that striker. His ability to lob that ball forward and his through balls are two of his best passing ranges that he has in his locker, and something that for Chelsea could be really, really big, playing against those smaller Premier League sides who like to play a low block and defend quite deep. His ability to put those lofted passes, those through balls to break down a stubborn defence, could be the difference between Chelsea finishing in that 6th, 7th, 8th position to challenging for the title. It just gives them more options against teams that they usually struggle against and have struggled against this season. This is another example of his through ball, of that loft passing, that crossing ability. This one is from a standing start, which he does really, really well. From a standing start, he is 99% of the time going to put that ball exactly where he wants it. He's this player in here at the top of your screen, playing as a fullback in this game, I believe. That striking ability, again, a sharp, short cut back to a long follow through to get that ball spinning. Not quite as far, not quite as long. This one, as you can see, slightly shorter, which means the ball is going to be slightly lower, which is what he wants in this situation to get it through those players. The ball is hard to see in this one, is here. It bounces off that turf and it spins just this way to put it closer to the goal. So if Enciso misses it, who again is a former Brighton player and may or may not sign for Chelsea in the future, so if you want to see a video on that, if it does happen, let me know in the comments below. But if Enciso misses it, you've also got this player running in here, and the closer the ball is to that goal, the more chance it is of a opportunity being created, or of course a goal being scored. And Enciso ends up in this position. It is a really, really nice touch, really clever touch to bring that ball down after it spins towards him and then he tucks it away. But just that long free ball from this position, which many people won't see as dangerous, a standing start at left back on the ball, from there just plays a long, accurate through ball in there to get his team into this position. And with a João Pedro on the end of it, Barco's going to pick up so many assists. But the next clip is the final one and my favourite of his from his time in France. It is this one here. Most players in this position, you expect to receive it on the back foot like he has and try and bend it into this top corner, or get a shot away, or pass it in here, or pass it in here. I really like this here with his ability on the back foot, receiving on the half turn. It does open up 3 options for him, but he decides to take one that many people don't expect, not even the defender. He exaggerates that pass, that cross, which gets the Doué, I believe it is the attacker in this situation, committing, which allows space just behind him for Barco to do this sharp, short little chop, which is really, really clever. Commits all the defenders, none of them expect it, which opens up a nice bit of space in here for him again to do a few things. Touches the ball there just to get it under control, just the slightest of touch, just to drag it away and push it slightly in front of him into there. Takes another touch with the inside of his left foot to push it into that space. Doué is closing him down. The centre-back, the midfielder, the full-back is closing him down. But he has that vision, and he already knows, because he has received the pass, to see his teammate coming there and in there into this pocket of space. Most people would expect him to go now with his right foot and just play a dinked pass in there, or even just play a dinked pass towards that back post. He does neither. He decides to go with the outside of his left foot and put a chipped ball in there over the top. The ball is here over the top to put his teammate into this position, and he does score, which is another fantastic assist for Barco. So he has that creativity, has a few things in his locker in the final third just to change the angle and commit defenders, get them thinking he's going to do one thing like this in here. Pass, shoot, chip, to then cutting back, creating space, and just putting a nice dink pass into a better position for his teammate. So that is Barco in a nutshell. His ability to receive the ball on the half turn, on the back foot, drive into space with it, his dribbling ability to get out of tight areas, and of course his creativity and passing range. One of the best in Ligue 1 and probably one of the best in Europe. So that is Barco, as I said, a really, really exciting signing for Chelsea. But that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching. I know that I really enjoyed making this one. Chelsea fans, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on the potential signing of Valentin Barco. I think he's going to be a fantastic signing. I was really disappointed when Brighton let him go, because in his very few minutes you could see that potential that he had, and now we can see it shining through. He put in some incredible crosses in those limited minutes, and despite concerns, he put in some really fantastic defensive contributions, particularly in his cameo against Chelsea, making some absolutely incredible goal line clearances and last ditch tackles and interceptions. So that was disappointing to see him let go for such a cheap fee. But for Chelsea, I'm sure he's going to shine, especially going back under Liam Rosenior. But don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video, do whatever you want with it. And one final thing, a big thank you for all the support on the Kaoru Mitoma video. The last video, just under 7k views, makes it the highest performing video, the highest viewed video on the channel so far. So really appreciated. Thank you so much for that one. But you know the outro by now. Do it with me. Adios.